Okay.
I'm fine.
Y'all good?
Yep, all good, thank you. Crazy sister
Can you hear audio on your camera? I mean, you can see, okay. Test.
I don't need to be in the middle of it.
Hey,
You want to be in the beginning?
I could. Wait.
I'm gonna pull you up to the
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
about 2.5 years of slow decline.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Very good.
You see him?
Yeah, definitely.
No. Okay, he wants to. Well, let me do this. Let me find out, and I'll get back to you within 20 minutes, okay? Because I'm gonna tell you something. I like you. I don't know if you're ready for a ranch. That's all I'm saying. All right, really. Okay. Let me figure out what's going on. I'll get back to you. All right. All right. No worries.
Can you see what on the phone?
That's great.
Yeah. I'm not sure which item they're for.
We cross out with Mr. Perry.
You got my pen.
Stewart, again, he's on his way. I know Stewart. Because I guess he leaves work. Can't leave work any earlier.
Today, man, we've been doing tours all downtown.
Oh,
I
shit.
smell myself.
That's fine, baby. That don't bother me. I mean,
What's going on, man?
I do have yours. I didn't get a card for you though.
I wasn't going to speak up for her.
Okay, so you want all 3 pictures?
We're going to hire a DJ or something.
When you like it.
We're going to call this meeting, the agenda meeting, to order. Mr. Young is going to pray for us, and these are our leaders in the Pledge of Allegiance.
God, we pause right now just to say thank you for your goodness and for your grace. Thank you that we know that as we conduct the City Council's business, that you are presiding over it, you're taking hands and eyes and watching and guiding. And we just ask that you be with those that need healing right now. Heal them in Jesus' name. In your name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get started this afternoon, we got a few ground rules that we want to go over and I must make you aware these ground rules have already been in place. We're just doing it because it's a new term now, and going forward, we want to have it established what the rules are and the decorum is in the City Council meeting. Mr. Stutes?
Yes, for all those who speak during the open forum, there is a 3-minute time limit on any presentation, and all presentations are not to the audience, not to the mayor, not to me, it's to the council. And so I'll put up this 1-minute sign whenever you're down to 1 minute, and then at the end of the 3 minutes, your time will expire.
And I will say that if you need extra minutes, you can ask for it. Not that you'll be granted. It goes to the vote of the council whether or not we want to give you those minutes. So with that being said, we got a few presentations that we need to go through first, Mr. Mayor. We got Chief Caldwell here be presenting the newly appointed Deputy Chief. Chief Caldwell.
Thank you, Mr. President. So Deputy Chief Nicosia, many of you have known Deputy Chief Nicosia. He is retiring, and we named his replacement. So soon to be Deputy Chief Larry Moss. Come on up here, Larry.
So, Larry Moss, current Sergeant Moss, but soon to be Deputy Chief Larry Moss, he's a local guy. He was born and raised in Sulphur, where he graduated from Sulphur High in 1988. I'm sorry, in 86. In 1988, Moss joined the United States Navy and served with the Navy. He served at Operation Desert Storm on the USS Abraham Lincoln and finished his naval career at the Naval Weapons Station in Yorksville, Virginia. After serving his country in the Navy, Larry went on to work or began his law enforcement career, and that was at the Henrico County Sheriff's Office. That's in Richmond, Virginia. In 2003, he decided to come back home. I guess the food wasn't any good up there. He decided to come home and return to Southwest Louisiana, where he joined the LCPD. He's been with us since 2003. He's married. His wife, Summer, and they have one stepson together. While in law enforcement, Larry has served in multiple roles, from jailer to patrolman, honor guard, defensive tactics instructor, firearms instructor, SWAT team member, SWAT team commander, recruiter, and several other aspects in law enforcement. With his 29 years in law enforcement, as well as his experience with the military, Larry is well prepared to start his next chapter in leadership at the Lake Charles Police Department as the Operations Deputy Chief. So, thank you, Council. Thank you, Mayor. Deputy Chief Larry Moss.
I'll keep it very brief. Just say thank you to the chief and the selection committee for the other deputy chiefs for having confidence and in my ability in making that selection, to the mayor and to the city council. Thank you, and you have my pledge to do my level best to continue the work that we've started and do my level best for the city. Thank you.
Deputy Chief, could you explain to us, you are chief, how does it work? Does the other two move up to a different office, or they still have the positions, and where does he fall?
So, no, sir. So the Lake Charles Police Department is broken down into 3 bureaus. Those bureaus are operations. It's mainly patrol, all the people you see in uniform, and that's what Deputy Chief Moss is going to be over. Deputy Chief Gode is over the budget and communications, fleet, buildings, and those start. His dispatch, he is the support bureau. And Deputy Chief Kirkham is over investigations, detectives, identification, the CAT team, and such.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So they don't necessarily move up, it's just different positions.
Any questions from the council? Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. At this time, we got a presentation that I think the mayor is going to handle, which we all striving to get to. We got a retirement. Miss Renee, who's supposed to do that?
Emily and
Miss Emily?
and the mayor.
Council, in our retirement is Steve George. He has been with the city for 44 years. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. He does not want to come. I don't think he wants to come up here, right? You don't want to. You're going to come up. Come on.
I'm glad you're coming, because I ain't seen you in 44 years.
After an incredible 44 years of dedication, service, we celebrate not just your retirement, but the legacy you leave behind. From your first day to your last, you've been a source of wisdom, kindness, and unwavering professionalism. You've mentored colleagues, inspired teams, and most importantly, kept the finance department in line. You help build a workplace that it is hard. It's all ladies and Steve. And he's helped to build a workplace that feels more like a family. And as you step into this new chapter, may it be filled with joy and adventure, because you're going to be traveling, and well-earned relaxation, because you've earned every moment of it. Thank you for everything, and you will be deeply missed, but never forgotten, Steve.
Thank you.
Yep. And then we have a small gift for you. All right.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you to your and your family for letting us have you for 44 years.
Thank you, Mayor. We can do the road trips and stuff like that. And
stay busy at home.
That's it.
And so forth. Yes, sir. Sure.
You want to say anything?
Well, just like thank everybody for coming today, the council, mayor, and working 44 years for the city. It's been an honor, and had the opportunity to work with 7 mayors, and it's been good. God bless everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. At this time, I have a presentation on behalf of the council. This certificate of recognition for Mr. Gerald Bryant on receiving the Distinguished Award of Nursing Administrator of the Year, the Nightingale Award by the Louisiana State Nursing Association. Mr. Gerald Bryant.
Just real quick, thank you, Mayor, President Marks, and council members for the recognition. I did get the honor of being nominated and chosen as the Nurse Administrator of the Year of the state of Louisiana. 41 years of nursing this year, over half of it in Lake Charles and at Lake Charles Memorial. But a bigger honor is to be able to represent and serve the largest and most complex and comprehensive nursing enterprise in Southwest Louisiana. Memorial has more than 750 registered nurses, more than 150 LPNs, and a couple of hundred of techs and nurse aides, et cetera. And our mantra is in nursing there, we're here to take care of our friends, our neighbors, our families, and anything else that comes down I-10. And that's what we do. It's a bigger honor to serve that 750 nurses and the rest of the team. So thanks for the acknowledgement. Proud to be here.
Appreciate you, Mr. Bryant. Renee?
Okay. Appointed chairman to review bids for project number CP 3469, McNeese Sidewalk, Corbina Road to Lake Crest Boulevard, and amend the budget as necessary. An ordinance ordering demolition and authorizing the City of Lake Charles to enter into an agreement for demolition of a structure located at 2030 and a half Terrio Street, Elnora Luke, owner, subject to a tax sale to the state of Louisiana. Another demolition at 2008 12th Street, Natasha Young and Russell Young, owners. Another demolition at 2011 Evans Street, Olivia Davis Trahan, estate owner. Another demolition at 521 Kingsley Street, Charlie Toussaint estate owner, subject to a tax sale to the state of Louisiana. Another demolition at 2200 Commercial Street, First New Life Missionary Baptist Church of Lake Charles Incorporated, owner. Another demolition at 909 14th Street, shed only, Betty Lou Nelson and Marjorie Nelson, owners. Another demolition at 742 South Line Street, Leona Anthony Orfe and Harriet Orfe Tripp, owners. Another demolition at 600 12th Street, Stratton Oakmont Properties LLC, owner. Another demolition at 2015 Evans Street, Deborah F. Landry Celestine, Barbara N. Landry, Courtney M. Landry, Justin Landry, Wilson Landry, and Donald R. Landry Jr., owners. Another demolition at 1118 South Elton Court, shed only, Yolanda Angeline Harrigan, owner, subject to a tax sale to state of Louisiana. Another demolition at 811 17th Street, Alice Diane Cook Williamson, owner. Another demolition at 2007 13th Street, Don Hammock Hoffpower, owner, subject to a tax sale to the state of Louisiana. Another demolition at 3421 McKinley Street, Ozzie Fisher Jr. estate and Sally Fisher estate, owners, subject to a tax sale to the state of Louisiana. Ordinances for final action. An ordinance authorizing the City of Lake Charles to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement with the North Lake Charles Economic Development District for the purpose of appropriating funds totaling $650,000 over a 4-year period to assist with the operations of the district and further providing office space for the district. An ordinance amending both sections 20-78 and section 20-132B of Chapter 20 of the City of Lake Charles's Code of Ordinances prohibiting parking on both sides of Elaine Street from Rhodes Street to Kingsley Street and designating this area as a tollway zone. An ordinance adopting the operating and capital budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2025 and ending September 30th, 2026. An ordinance authorizing the City of Lake Charles to enter into any right-of-way agreements for the approved fiscal year 2025 to 2026 capital improvement projects and/or for right-of-ways, and to acquire land and/or compliance with the Site Triangle Ordinance for fiscal year 2025 to 2026. An ordinance authorizing the City of Lake Charles to enter into architectural and engineering agreements on all projects outlined in the approved capital improvement project CIP funded in fiscal year 2025-26 capital budget. An ordinance authorizing the City of Lake Charles to enter into agreements for programs related to special arts and cultural events/exhibits as authorized in the operating and capital budget for the 2025 to 2026 fiscal year. Resolutions, a resolution accepting project number DR001 LCPD investigations as substantially complete and authorizing the advertising of the 45-day lien period. A resolution accepting project number CP3177 West Preon Lake Road, widening Cove Lane to Isles Road as substantially complete and authorizing the advertising of the 45-day lien period. A resolution accepting project number CP3469 Mallard Golf Club driving range lighting as substantially complete and authorizing the advertising of the 45-day lien period. A resolution accepting project number LCR 406 College Oaks Park renovations as substantially complete and authorizing the advertising of the 45-day lien period. A resolution accepting project number LCR 405 Marybelle Williams Park renovations as substantially complete and authorizing the advertising of the 45-day lien period. A resolution accepting project number CP3274 Highway 14 Waterline Extension as substantially complete and authorizing the advertising of the 45-day lien period. A resolution setting date for public hearing and consideration of the Lake Charles Planning and Zoning Commission's decision to deny a request for variances in order to construct a new 1,600 square foot accessory building, which would occupy 85% of the floor area of the existing principal structure versus the allowable 40% within a residential zoning district at 124 West Claude Street. A resolution authorizing the City of Lake Charles to advertise to receive sealed bids to purchase office supplies for use by various City of Lake Charles departments and divisions for a 12-month period with the option to renew for 2 additional 12-month periods. A resolution authorizing the City of Lake Charles to advertise and receive sealed bids for the purchase of polymer flocculants for use by the Public Works Department Wastewater Division for a 1-year period with an option to renew on same terms for an additional 12 months. A resolution authorizing the City of Lake Charles to advertise and to receive sealed bids on certain ordinance for introduction of an ordinance authorizing the City of Lake Charles to negotiate excess workers' compensation insurance by accepting the lowest responsible bid for the period beginning October 1, 2025 through October 1, 2026. Introduction of an ordinance authorizing the City of Lake Charles to allow more than 20% cumulative increase for a change order for project number CP2894 Nelson Road 24-inch sewer line CIPP lining. Introduction of an ordinance authorizing the City of Lake Charles to enter into an agreement with Environmental Technical Sales to repair the fine screen aqua screen at wastewater plant BC. Introduction of an ordinance amending sections 5-3014 figure 1, 5-3024 figure 2, 5-3034 figure 3, 5-3044 Figure 4, 5-3045, Figure 5, 5-3053, Figure 5 of Chapter 24 of the Lake Charles zoning ordinance relative to additional 5-foot setback along arterial or collector corridors and federal or state designated routes as additional 10-foot for facilities that include fuel cells per Section 24-5-20310. Introduction of an ordinance amending Section 5-3042 of Chapter 24 of the Lake Charles zoning ordinance relative to permitted uses within business districts, drive-in or drive-through facilities. Introduction of an ordinance amending Section 7C2 of Chapter 23 of the City of Lake Charles Code of Ordinances relative to exterior storage areas. Introduction of an ordinance adding Section 5-20332 of Chapter 24 of the Lake Charles zoning ordinance relative to curb cuts. Introduction of an ordinance accepting the lowest responsible quote and authorizing the City of Lake Charles to enter into an agreement for Central Auditorium Theater repairs. And the other two items on here are companion ordinances. I have one more that was turned in a little bit late. It's a resolution setting date for public hearing and consideration of the Lake Charles Planning and Zoning Commission's decision to approve as amended a variance in order to maintain an existing unpermitted ground sign versus required monument-style sign and allow setback of 10 feet 2 inches from front property line versus required minimum 15 foot within a mixed-use zoning district at 2529 Lake Street. And that's all that I have.
Thank you, Ms. Renee. Just for FYI, anybody that wanted to speak tonight, please take this time to put in a card. If you don't have a card in, you will not be allowed to speak. So we'll progress from that point on. Mr. Bilbo.
I'm here.
Yes, ma'am.
Thought you were.
Oh, I forgot. The most important one. Miss Emily is going to go over the budget right quick before we get to that. Thank you, Ms. Renee.
You're welcome. Maybe you forgot about me. It's okay. It's just the budget. This year, I took, along with the printing department up on the 9th floor, helped me kind of come up with this new little way to show the budget to you all. And we're going to post this online in the same place where the budget is posted. And it's called A Citizen's Guide to the Budget. It's just a a faster way to kind of explain how the city's budget works and where the revenues come from, and try to put it in more plain language as much as an accountant can. So just to get started, so what is the budget? The budget is a policy document. It's a financial plan for operations, the operations of the city, and the capital budget, which is a long-term spending plan that we use to acquire capital assets, and we also show our means of paying for them, including borrowing. And then the budget is created, the finance department prepares the revenues, and the departments work closely together with their within their divisions to review their operating budgets. And they also review their positions that may need to be filled and other operating capital such as vehicles and heavy equipment. And they bring all that information into the finance department, and we work with them to determine what their needs are for the coming year. And then once that is done, the mayor, the city administrator, public works, and finance department work together to match that operating budget with the 5-year capital improvement plan, which then becomes part of the capital improvement budget. And then we hold meetings with council members to have them review it, ask questions, and then the budget has to be adopted no later than September 15th of each year. So I give the budget to the council by August 15th. I present it at this meeting, and then they'll vote on it, hopefully vote on it on September 3rd, but if they choose not to, then they can have to vote on it by September 15th. In the budget, we have several types of funds. The main fund is our general fund, and in the general fund, sales taxes make up 63% of the revenues for the general fund, which is about $57.5 million. Property taxes are 13.5% of the general fund, which is about $12.2 million. Franchise and license tax make up 10% for $5 million. And the remaining revenues are from interagency contracts and charges for services. We also have special revenue funds, which generate revenues from sales taxes, franchise taxes, charges for services, intergovernmental revenues, and interest earnings. And those special revenue funds are the wastewater fund, the riverboat gaming fund, recreation, and then other grant programs and disaster recovery programs. Then we also have enterprise funds, which account for operations that are expected to operate in a manner similar to a private business, and the cost of goods and services to the general public are financed through these user charges for these funds. In those funds, the main fund in the enterprise fund is the water fund, which impacts most of our citizens, and the revenues for that fund is mainly based off of water usage fees, which this year we have budgeted at $13.8 million, which will help to pay for operations and some transfers into the capital budget for capital improvements in the water fund. Then the last two funds that we have are the Risk Management and Employee Group Insurance Fund. These are both called internal service funds, and they're used to account for the city's self-insured and self-funded insurance plans. And the way they receive revenue is from the other funds that have employees and property will pass into the internal service funds so that the insurance can be paid. The next slide. And then I have, in this presentation, I have two charts that you may not be able to see very well on the screens, but it's two pie charts that show all the revenues that come into the city and then all the expenditures that go out of the city. So where do your taxes go? And so your sales taxes are, of course, the main, sales and property taxes are the main drivers of our revenues. They mainly go into the general fund, which expenditures for the general fund are budgeted to be $93.3 million for fiscal year 26. And of that, $59 million is salary and fringe benefits for our employees. And the general fund also helps fund operational expenditures, utilities, maintenance, materials, and supplies, which are budgeted at about $24.8 million. And the general fund supports all the functions of the police department, fire department, public works, community services, planning and development, human resources, and finance. So it has a big job to do. The wastewater fund is a fund that's proposed to have operating expenses of about $15 million, and that fund will transfer $4 million into the capital budget for much needed improvements in our wastewater system. And then the way governmental accounting works, it's a little bit different from how your budget works and how the budget of a business works. We end up with a fund balance. And for our fund balance in the general fund, we have a target that we try to maintain a percentage of total general fund revenues and operating transfers to the expenditures. And that percentage reserve is typically 30% is what we target, and this year we have exceeded that 30% target. Then the city, we do publish this budget online, and then we also have a paper copy, either different departments have them, and then we also have a copy posted here at the Carnegie Library for your review. And the City of Lake Charles has received our Distinguished Budget Award since 2011, and we're hoping we get it again. So if you're interested in asking more questions about the budget, or you want to take a look at the budget, it is easily found on the city's website under the finance department for the cityoflakecharles.com. So in that, I would like to thank Sophia and John in our printing department to help me come up with this fun little graphic. I'm an accountant, not a designer, so they were very helpful in this. Our finance team did amazing work in pulling together this budget. This was really the first time that we had kind of done it by ourselves. We had some long-term employees that had left, and so we pulled it together by ourselves. And then, of course, new administration coming in, jumping in right in the middle of budget and trying to figure out and learn how all this worked, as well as the new council members. So thank you all for your support in getting this budget put together. So thank you.
Any questions from the council? I have a couple. The first is the Disaster Recovery Fund.
Yes, sir.
The public assistance aspect of it. Can you give a brief overview of what that does?
So we set up the disaster recovery funds. We have a couple. There's the disaster recovery fund, and then there's the disaster recovery for Laura. The Laura fund was set up obviously after Hurricane Laura because it was such a massive event. All of our other disaster events tend to fall under the original disaster recovery fund. And the way that those two are funded is mainly through insurance or any other FEMA public assistance funds that come as far as reimbursement from those disasters. Now, there are occasions in which we do account for, recently we had the freezes and the snow event this past year, and we did account for time and expenses in that disaster recovery, but there was no technical emergency that was declared, and therefore there were no FEMA dollars that came in. So the general fund did ultimately pay into that fund to pay for those expenses, but we did account for them there so that they're off by themselves, and next time we don't have a freeze or snow, we would know how much, or we would have an idea of what would be spent.
And those are specific meaning that we can't just take that money and use it somewhere else.
Oh, yes, that you are correct, yes.
So that-
They
that
are
money
very
stays where
specific,
it
yes, they are very
So
specific.
how is that different from the Disaster Recovery Fund General Services?
Well, that's what I'm saying, like, we had a disaster recovery fund that just kind of housed everything, and it has like some HMGP money in it, and just different disasters that we've had since Hurricane Rita. But then when Laura came and really caused her own kind of disaster, it has its own fund, yeah.
Okay. The other question is the police hiring grant. Can you explain that? What exactly does that do?
I wasn't here when we went through that grant, but it was a grant that was, that asked us to, you do know more about this grant than I do, I'm sorry.
I'm not an accountant, but I'll do my best. So several years ago, many years ago, there was a federal grant that allowed departments, when you reach your full staffing level, you could hire extra officers under the grant. But the caveat to it is you had to add those officers to your complement. I don't think we have anyone left under that, and that grant has since expired. I don't know exactly if that answered your question, Mr. Marks, or not.
Yeah, it did, but if it expired, it don't matter.
Yeah, it's expired because we haven't been at full staff in the police department, and so there was no incremental increase for that grant to pay, and then I don't even think the grant really exists anymore. The reason it's still in the book is because it had a balance that had been that was there that we have to present.
And what we do with the balance since it expired?
Well, we kind of hold it there until we decide how we can transfer it out or if it's going to be used again.
Could we use it as stipends?
I mean, I guess you could, but there's not a whole lot in there.
Okay.
I mean, it wouldn't be much.
Okay. My last question is, we have several economic development districts. And in reading over this, we give we give over $1 million to, and I say give, I want to be clear on us giving it. It's taxes that were put on the economic development districts, like Morganfield as an example. The taxes were put in place before there were people there. And so now that there are people there, the taxes were already in place. So when you move there, you understood that you're going to pay this extra tax.
A penny.
Okay. So with that being said, even though they knew and they agree, that's money that could technically be going to the city. It's an extra tax. I get that. But my point is, if those extra taxes wasn't put on, all the taxes would come to the city, correct?
The 2.5% that is normally charged comes to the city, yes. The 1% is used in the district.
And in each of these districts, it states that those funds, those extra funds, could be used for operations.
No.
That's what it say here?
There's in the agreements, and I'm going to look at Mr. Stutes. In the agreements, there's a certain amount that we can use for administrative cost, but the rest of the money has to go to infrastructure improvements within the district.
Okay, and that's for all of them?
Yes.
And then, so these extra dollars are strictly used for infrastructure?
Yes.
Okay.
Within the district.
Within the district. Yeah, it can't be, it has to be
can't be
directly
used
related to the
Within
district.
that geographic
Area.
limitation
Box.
area.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can't cross over the districts. I mean,
Yeah.
that's.
Right.
'cause
But
it's
I
a-
just wanted to make it clear that those districts are receiving an extra tax to help them do whatever they need to do or whatever is feel is needed within the district.
Yes.
correct.
Let's clarify, they're not receiving an extra tax. The property who set up those districts chose to have an additional tax imposed. So if you go, for instance, if you go to Rouse's, which is a district, you're gonna pay an extra penny of
Right.
sales tax shopping there.
Yes, but it's an extra tax because it's extra from what they would normally pay.
Exactly. They're
Okay.
paying a penny more than anybody else is
Okay.
going. You pay a penny more when you go to Rouse's than you do when you go up the street to Kroger's.
Albertsons, yeah.
Got it.
Chose to tax themselves.
Yes,
And
but they
this-
chose to tax. For clarity, Morganfield did it when there was no properties there. But they knew in 5 years they would have properties. That's different from the Lake Charles North Economic Development District, which has residents in it now. And now in order for them to tax, they have to go to the residents and get the residents' approval to tax.
Right.
That's the point I'm getting across to. Thank you, Ms. Emily. That's all I have.
Alrighty.
Okay. Mr. Weatherford.
Just have, if we could, I think we're already looking into this, but I have someone ask about, there's some, I don't know if it was a vendor, a fiber vendor, but on East St. Charles, there's some issues with some of the drainage because there's some dirt that, there was some work done that may not have been completed, so if we could send someone to take a look. And I think the water actually flows from Lyle Peters actually back to the south, so we could look into that.
Where's that?
On East St. Charles, which is on the south side of Lyle Peters Road. And there's some surface drainage or some drainage ditches there that may have some impediments in it. And it may be from work that was performed either by a vendor, whether it was a fiber vendor or someone. So we could just kind of look at that and see what's going on there. I appreciate it.
Anything else, Mr. Weather?
That's it.
That's it? Mr. Bilbo?
I want to discuss the businesses on Gershon Memorial. I think that we really have too much leeway if you want to open a business and how they're taking care of the area. I came in, I think it was in June, and we discussed the Miami tire situation, and I hadn't really seen nothing done. The little fence they probably put up was almost an insult to the people in the neighborhood. They really didn't, it's really still opening. Nothing has really been done about Miami tire. And along a lot of business in that area, they should take care of their property. Bottles, grass, everything. In my bid for election, I promoted that I wanted businesses on Gershon Memorial. I can't get business. I can't talk to people if I ride down Gershon Memorial, and it's an embarrassment to look at. Nobody's going to come do business there. Nobody. We give them too much leeway to take care of stuff that they purchase. If you purchase it, take care of it. I think we need to buckle down and get more people out there. I know we short-handed in property standards. I talk to Ms. Paula almost daily. She probably tired of hearing from me. But still, that's no excuse for allowing them that much leeway. I was come and complain about the potential car wash that was going to be built, and they cut the grass yesterday. So it left me in a bubble, but still, it shouldn't took that long. It's almost a month. The grass, I'm not very tall, but the grass was higher than me. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot. We need to do better in those areas. I don't compare areas, but my main concern is C, and it doesn't look well when you pass down it. So that, and of course Miami, and what else I had? Hillcrest area, the canal by John F. Kennedy School. They did some cutting, and it looks better, but we still got grass high along the canal. I don't know if there's somebody gonna say it's drainage, somebody gonna say it's this thing, but you got kids leaving that area every day, and they playing in it. So we need something to separate going inside the canal more than just a high grass. You got 7, 8-year-olds, and it looks terrible around John F. Kennedy. I had several complaints. I didn't have time to turn it in to Miss Paula, but I got several complaints about the area around that school and the canal or the drainage, whatever you want to call it. It's not being taken care of. So I want somebody just to go look at it.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that.
I think that's going to be gravity drainage. Needs to be contacted.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, gravity drainage, and we've worked with them on several things already because there was the crack in the canal on Oak Park that's been repaired. So we'll get with them on the grass on there by
And
Hillcrest.
just a point of emphasis, Mr. Mayor, if I'm not mistaken, that Miami tire, that fence has to be a certain height.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a full enclosure, and it can't anything that they're storing out there can't be open to the public.
Right, so that may be something we need to.
Well, when we came back, it's so happenly that it has a street between the business, and they said that street
is the buffer.
It's the buffer, but it don't look good having a see-through chain link fence where you still can see the tires and stuff like that. That orders need to be changed because I think Miss Mouton has to be in her 80s, and she walking out there, she got tires in her front yard and trying to move them out because they falling. I know it's not their fault, but we got to do something to prevent those things from happening.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Bilbo?
No, that's all.
Ms. Fundale.
The only thing I have is the ship under I-10, the boat. Is that the state? What's the word on that? It's been there for years now.
Where at under I-10?
It is on Fruget Street, right under the I-10. It's just east of where the King's Palace used to be. It is DOTD property. I have emailed them, I've called them about the boat and also about cutting the grass, because the grass hasn't been cut since last year. I've given them the name of the owner of the boat, where he lives, his phone number, and still nothing's been done. So, we have gotten in touch with them about it. It's a nice boat. We've had people inquire, they want to buy it. I give them the guy's phone number, but apparently he doesn't want to sell it.
So did we notify Judge Carter and who's the state rep, Stein?
No, I have not notified I've notified the state. So, yeah.
I'll get in touch with DLTD. The district director is here in Lake Charles. So I'll talk to them.
It's been there a year. I know when I was running, it was, it's been there a long
It's
time.
a sailboat on a trailer, am I right?
Yeah.
It's not going to be there too much longer. Trust me.
Okay.
Anything else, Mr. Fundale?
No, that's it.
Mr. Beesnut? Mr. Young?
Yes, sir. I do want to publicly thank Gravity Drainage. They have been very helpful in addressing an issue behind Albertsons, a canal that runs east and west. They went in this past week and put up a fence on both sides of that keeps litter from getting clogged up in there. Those residents were fighting that daily, so appreciate their help on that. Also, Ms. DeVille, the ordinance or resolution that you read in, the appeal for 2529 Lake Street, I'm working with that property owner on that. Can that be addressed at the September 17th meeting?
You want to set the
September
hearing? The
3rd?
hearing date would be September 17th.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
That's the date we put on the agenda fact sheet. I'm making sure we have plenty of time for the required advertisement.
Yes.
So that should, if it's the 17th, it should give us an appropriate amount of time.
Excellent.
For the ordinance.
17th or after?
I didn't get the fact sheets back yet, but I'm pretty sure that's the usual time frame, the 3rd, to set the date, and the 17th would be the hearing date.
Thank you. Doug,
welcome.
thank you, Renee.
That's it? All right. I got a few things. First off, I want to start with, we got to do a better job in enforcing. I'm listening, and to no fault of Mr. Young, but Mr. Young just said that Gravity Drainage put a fence up in one part of town. In the other parts of town, Gravity Drainage seem to be dragging their feet, because I've had several reports for the past 2 years about Gravity Drainage, and it seems to be dropping the ball. It's the same entity that does everything throughout the city. It should be some continuity across, because Mr. Bilbo has reported his before, I've reported mine before, and I'm not saying it's partiality aside of a city, but I think as the city, we're not enforcing. And I need to know if we can find the railroad, if we can find Gravity Drainage, if we can find DOTD for the things that they're doing in the city that we're becoming liable for. DOTD is doing a good job with the streets and things that we have going on right now. But I'd like for us to look at that, because our constituents don't give us any pity if we say DOTD. They look at it as being a city problem. And if it's a lawsuit that ever comes from any of these things, it's going to fall on us. So I'd like that to be looked into. Also, the streets. I'm thankful for DOTD and the Highway 14 project that they got going on. But the job that they're doing is creating some very dangerous pockets where water is sitting in places where when you hit the curve, it'll put you in a tailspin throughout the Highway 14 area. So if we could get them to take a look at that, if you just go after a rain, you'll see that puddles are sitting in the curve coming from Broad to Highway 14, midway through Highway 14 to the northern part of Highway 14 past Steamboat Bills, and cars are riding into that. And in this weather, we don't know how it's going to turn out. We even had an incident the other day in Mr. Bilbo district where one of the signs fell down and damaged someone's car. They took care of it fast, but we need to be more mindful of those when we're doing these city projects. The second thing, my next thing is Johnson Hall. Got to come down. We've been dealing with Johnson Hall for the past 3 or 4 years. I mean, if it's some kind of way we can do something to knock that down, use it for a project in the city to bring more housing or to do whatever we need to do. But that is becoming a problem because I pass there at night and there's still people going back there. I know the agreement was they were supposed to have security back there. I don't know if that's still in play, but the owners of that area is from out of town. They from New York somewhere, and they really don't care about what's going on in this city. So I'd like us to take a look at that. 1907 19th Street. Grass in the backyard. I'm getting complaints from the residents that it's growing over the fence. You know, if we can have property standards to go out and take a look at it. The Dollar General on 4th Avenue, tall grass. I'm like Mr. Bilbo, if you're a business and you functioning in our city, the last thing we should have to worry about with you is property standards. You know, whether it be a fence or grass or tires, we shouldn't have to worry about that on no parts of the city. The Village. I spoke to the director, Mr. Pete, today. They finally got approval from HUD to tear down those houses, but I'm still getting calls from residents. And I seen today on Gershner Memorial, the sheriff department had about 5 to 10 people hemmed up, but those that got away ran to the Village. And I'm getting reports that they're living in those houses. I had a report from Mr. Hanchett that they stole his groceries last week. You know, when we got deliveries and they set them on the porch, they're stole. And we've been having this complaint for, it's going on over 2 years now. As I said, the Housing Authority is going to be on top of it, but I think we need a police presence there in the meantime to keep those people out of there and not cause harm to the Village area. What's my next one? Mr. Weatherford talked about franchising with the fiber. I had a meeting, me and Mr. Fundale, we spoke to the representative from AT&T. To my understanding, they are trying to get back into the city, which we really need because the northern part of the city is deficient in internet services, you know.
Actually, Mr. President Marks, we had a meeting with AT&T yesterday, and I think we've reached we made a lot of progress. I think we're getting close to an agreement to get them back.
Okay. The same thing is with the ambulance services. Just this past weekend, we had a lady fell out in our church, which was a serious incident. It took the ambulance 12 minutes to get there. I think in our resolution, we got a standard of like 7 minutes or something like that where they're supposed to respond. We are put in that situation because we only have one ambulance service. So I'm thinking that we need to get some sort of competition going in the city based, maybe to drive prices down, maybe to help them to be more attentive, but we getting laxed, you know, and it's kind of funny because the hub is right down the street. I mean, it shouldn't take 2 minutes to drive down Enterprise to get to Harley Street.
Right, and even if they're not at the hub, they have areas that they stage where they have to meet those response times.
Right, and I use my church as the example, but I've been getting complaints throughout the city. So this is not just in one part of the city. This is all areas of the city. Mr. Young asked last week or week before last about the Sale Street project. Have we got any information about how far along we are? Is everything on schedule?
Salyer.
Salyer Street. I said Sale, huh? Salyer.
Yeah, we're moving along with Salyer Street. As a matter of fact, we had a meeting with DOTD because the progress of the Nelson Road Extension Bridge, and we're making sure that we get ahead of that because we don't want our project to sit idly by and stop that. So we're on track with it.
And Mr. Mayor, if you don't mind, for the new council members that may not be aware of what the Salyer Street project is, can you give me a general overview of what we're doing over there?
Well, you know, the Nelson Road Extension Bridge is coming in to Salyer Street, and then Salyer Street is going to head east all the way through, traditionally all the way to Ryan. The railroad tracks have been relocated. There's a junction getting close to Lake Street that the city has to go in and fix and make sure that the traffic can go through. So we're coordinating with with DOTD because we want to finish that project so that once the bridge is complete, we can open all of Salyer Street up and get all that done.
The other thing I have is a couple of weeks ago, a little over 3 weeks ago, I requested some documents, CDBG projects, the Lake Charles rebound projects, and I asked for all of the city projects that were already funded or that's receiving funding or have funding sitting in the pot for them. And I just want to know if I'll be getting that anytime soon.
We're working on it.
Okay. The other thing is, I put in a request to get the sidewalk extended on Fifth Avenue in front of Golden Doors to the west, to the west of Golden Doors. And I went out and looked at it, and I don't think I know Public Works said that project was gonna need a contractor because it seemed to be a big project. But I want to be clear, I was asking for the sidewalk to go from Fourth Avenue up until the the old movie theater parking lot. I think that's all we need, because on the other side, there's concrete there already that the kids walking to school could walk on and save us some money. But the portion from Fourth Avenue to just past the Golden Doors is grass. So I'm just trying to give them an opportunity to have something to walk on the north side of the street like they have on the south side of the street.
And
So-
I'll follow up and get you an update
Okay.
on that.
The other thing is, a couple of weeks ago, Mayor, I think it was, you said that we were supposed to pay a $25,000 option to hold that property for the sports complex until we look into other properties. Has the $25,000 been paid?
No, as a matter of fact, we thought the option had been paid. It has not, but we've been talking with the property owner. They've got some other stipulations, so we're working on that, but they've actually increased the price, so we're working through those issues.
It got paid.
It did get paid?
Yeah,
Okay, when it did get paid.
Mr. Morgan has been working on that as special counsel and reported that they had agreed to it, and it's been, I think, paid today.
Oh, okay.
That's great.
Yes.
But we still, and the option is to purchase the property, but they did increase the price, so we're working on that issue too.
Okay. The Public Works building. I know it was some talk about us having to sell that property or willing to sell that property to Chenault because of the location. Have we made any progress on whether or not we're gonna go forward with that?
I'm not quite sure where we are in the Public Works, yeah.
We talked about it last term about selling that property to Chenault because of the location. The new Public Works was supposed to be relocated.
It is being
It's a
relocated.
land swap.
Okay.
So what was the question?
Are we going through with it, or what's the
Yes,
progress of it?
yes. They're working through making sure that it's an even land swap.
So Public Works is gonna stay near that site, or are we moving to another location?
No, the Public Works, new Public Work is if you're standing at the old site, it's southwest of the old site.
Southwest.
Across the street. Yes, sir. And it's under construction. Phase 1 is under construction, which is in the admin building and the infrastructure to go in. And then we were recently awarded our FEMA money for that project, and so Phase 2 should be bid out probably towards the end of this calendar year, beginning of next calendar year.
Okay.
And for the purpose of the council, the land swap is because the previous site was over a fly pattern coming into Chenault, so we wanted to move Public Works from under that.
That is correct.
Took Chenault's blood pressure down.
All right. The other question is, Purple Heart. I know there was a commercial that came out during election time about the Purple Heart being moved.
Mhm.
You know, do we have any status of what we're gonna do with the Purple Heart?
We're still looking at possible places. I know we've talked to Mr. Fondell about some places. We haven't really made a decision. I know there was some interest in the building itself, so we're still working through some of that. But it has not. It's still a valid, viable project. Yes, it's in the budget.
Okay.
Haven't secured that land yet?
We're not sure where we're gonna put it.
All right. Now, Ms. Emily, since you're right there.
Sure.
The $90 million bond that we had, how much do we have left of that to pay down?
We have 2 payments left, so it's roughly 11 million.
Okay. So that's 2 payments.
2 payments
So
of
they're
5 million each?
5.5 each.
Okay.
We
And-
pay them around the middle of the year.
Okay, good deal. And that would be about it that I have. At this time, we're gonna move on to our next portion of the meeting, unless, Y'all
Mr.
good?
Marks,
Yes,
one
sir.
quick thing, you had addressed something to me. I wanted to give you a quick answer. You asked about fines to DOTD and
Yes.
gravity drainage. There's nothing in the law, to my knowledge, that would prohibit us from doing that. However, I'll tell you, Article 12, Section 10 of the Constitution would prohibit us from making them pay. So, I mean, we can
Why-
fine, we're just
why
not, because political subdivisions are exempt from seizure. So we would have no mechanism to make them pay, but we can work on other options. I just wanted you to know that's kind of, that would really be a remedy without any teeth on it.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Gotcha. Moving forward, this is the yes, sir.
Oh, I just wanted to, I guess, clarify that the Salye project actually is was part of the $90 million bond issue
In 2006.
in 2006 after Rita.
Yes.
And what happened was that some of that money was, there was money that was, a lot of the projects, and Mayor Simmons remember, because we were on the council together, a lot came in over budget. So money was moved around, and we were talking about a port bridge over in the bayou at Nelson Road back then. And so it finally came to fruition. So that's part of why I was delayed. So I'm glad to hear that that project is on track so that we're not delaying traffic after that bridge is completed. But Salye, and that's not my district, it's a Young's district, and before that it was John Ives, before that was David Perry's, and that project has kind of been held up so that these other roads could be more substantially completed. So it's past time for that.
Yeah.
And I'm not blaming anybody. That's just, I just wanted, since I'm the old guy on the council, I want to remind everybody that that's a project that's been bouncing around for 20 years now.
Actually, I came across records that showed that that bridge project had been discussed back in the 1970s.
Right. Oh, yeah, I didn't realize that, but I think it probably goes back to the 1990s for sure. So I didn't realize it was the 1970s as well.
Kind of like the Enterprise extension.
Well, we're getting that one to a head, too.
Yeah.
All right, at this time, we're gonna have the public comment section of the meeting. There's no specific subject that the public can speak on, but I'm gonna reiterate what Mr. Stutes said at the beginning of the meeting. Address your comments to the council, and the council will address whatever needs to be said if it's a question going back and forth. At this time, I have Mr. Alvin Joseph from Planning and Zoning. Subject of interest is Planning and Zoning. State your name and address for the record, Mr. Joseph.
Alvin Joseph, 2309 17th Street, Lake Charles, Louisiana, 70601. And, man, you talk long. No, I'm kidding. Thank you, Mr. President, for allowing you and your council for allowing me to speak, and you too, Mr. Mayor, and your staff. I've been a planning and zoning commissioner and I didn't know it was since 2014. I found that out today.
Good Lord.
And the city's planning and zoning commissioners act as an advisory body to the city council, providing recommendations on long-term community development plans, specific land use proposals, and the creation of amendment of zoning ordinance and subdivision regulations. The purpose is to guide the city's growth and develop in a way that aligns with the community's comprehensive plan, while also ensuring a balance between economic development, preserving community character, and protecting public interest. Serving on the Planning and Zoning Commission can involve significant time and commitment, including attending meetings, reviewing applications, and participating in public hearings. A stipend, and I just want to let everybody know, I didn't talk to none of the council about this, and not even the planning director, so you're not in
Good
trouble.
thing you did.
Serving on the Planning and Zoning Commission can involve significant time commitment, including attending meetings, reviewing applications, and participating in public hearings. A stipend acknowledges this time commitment and provides some compensation for the work involved. I'm happy that I was able to contribute to the future vision and direction of my community, our community. We have never asked for anything. I know when I was first appointed Dr. Price was on the Planning and Zoning Commission. I think he had something to do with me getting appointed. But it's, yes, 1 minute. Yes, sir, thank you. But it was definitely an honor to, and it's still an honor to be on the city's Planning and Zoning Commission. I just think I got with someone from the parish, and they're getting $540 every quarter. They pay them so much a meeting, and it comes up to like $2,100 a year. I know the parish got all kind of money, but I think it would be great, even if I'm still here, or people that's going to come after us, to give some type of incentive, because we got to go out and look at properties, and we're doing all of this on our own time, on our own dime. So please consider maybe giving or something in place, a stipend or something for the planning commissioners for the city.
Appreciate your service, Mr. Joseph. Any questions for Mr. Joseph? Okay. Next we have, I think it's Charles Stevens. Is that right? Mr. Stevens, please state your name and address for the record.
Charles Stevens.
State your name and address for the record.
Charles Stevens. Address 2414 Oak Park Boulevard, 70601.
How can we help you?
Yes, sir. I was inquiring, my brother Jimmy, he was deceased about a year and a half ago, the pastor, New Covenant Faith Baptist Church. I was wondering if we considered I want to change one of the roads to his name. You'll consider doing that.
Well, Mr. Stevens, if I'm not mistaken, through the city, it's a process to doing that.
Yes, sir.
And there's certain requirements. I would suggest that you make an application to the city. Am I correct with that, Mr. Stoops?
Yes, Ms. DeVille, was these provided to him, the code of
Yes.
ordinances? So you have the requirements?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you would, I mean, it's a process that's followed, and if it's approved, it can be done, but you'll have to follow the process.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. We have Carrie McKee.
That's why that was in there.
State your name and address for the record, Mr. McKee.
My name's Kerry McKee. Address is 2291 West Gabriel Square. I am in Moss Bluff, but I've been a long-time resident of Lake Charles. I have some pictures. I don't know if Ms. Renee has those on the computer. I sent them to her. No, sir. No, it was a
Those are
PDF
from Ms.
file.
Reed.
I have some copies. If we're not able to get those, I can pass those out.
School zone proposal?
Yes, sir.
You can just kind of give us an overview till he find it.
Okay. So for the last 40 years, I've been a student, a member, and a parent at University United Methodist Church at 3501 Patrick Street in Lake Charles. 2 weeks ago, I was dropping off my 3-year-old daughter and parked across the street because I had a trailer. On my way back, I stopped just in time for a car to speed by me. That afternoon, I took my 6-year-old son to pick up his sister. We parked across the street. He said, "Dad, let's use the crosswalk." I've crossed that street for 40 years, and I've never thought about a crosswalk. Can you go to the second page, please?
So are you talking about Patrick Street? You're
which
talking
street
about
is that?
Patrick Street, right here.
Okay, yeah. I know where you park in the parking lot. of
Across the
shopping
street,
center
yes, so
across the
that's
street.
behind the old Cellmart.
Right, I know, okay, yeah.
Patrick Street has a posted speed limit of 25 miles an hour. The main parking lot for the day school and the church is across the street. The day school has students from 6 weeks old to pre-K 4. All the 30 teachers and some of the 130 students cross Patrick Street every morning and evening. On Sundays, every churchgoer must cross Patrick Street except for the few handicapped spots on the east side of the road. This is a significant safety concern. My son's crosswalk comment stuck with me. I started looking at other day schools and churches. I saw that most have parking on the same block as their facility with a few exceptions. Can you go to page 4, please? The First United Methodist Church, located 812 Kirkman Street, has a crosswalk for members to cross Kirkman Street. Can you go to page 5, please? Glad Tidings Preschool, located at 3400 Texas Street, has both crosswalks and a school zone. Glad Tidings has the benefit of allowing their teachers to park on the same block as the school. Glad Tidings students start at 2 years old and continue through pre-K 4. Because of these age of these students and the facility design, they can utilize a circle drop-off. I've added the signage, the crosswalks are circled in red, and I have some of the pictures there that you can see.
Excuse me, Mr. McKee. Mr. Stutes, he's been given time by Miss Janice Parkinson.
Can you go to the 8th page, please? University Methodist does not have that luxury. The drop-off area requires parents to back out onto Patrick Street, which is very dangerous. Can you go to page 6, please? This is the rear drop-off at Dalby Elementary. It has a 15-mile-an-hour school zone due to the dangers of their drop-off being in a curve. I'm asking the City Council to establish a school zone around University Methodist Church. Can you go to page 7, please? With crosswalks, signage, and a 15-mile-an-hour speed limit or rumble bumps to slow traffic. This will help protect our church members, staff, and children. I have a couple more pictures on page 9. It's hard to see here, but if you notice that's Common Street, going north and south on the right side of the screen there. That light at College Street backs all the way up almost to Scarlett Street. The traffic going north there in the morning turns on Scarlett, turns right onto Patrick, and goes about 45 miles an hour down that road. We have students crossing that street. We have parents crossing the street with infants. I'm asking for signage. I'm asking for something to get people to slow down. And I thank y'all. I'm willing to answer any questions.
Well, Mr. McKee, you probably are aware that my grandkids go to that school also.
Yes, sir, I am aware.
And I couldn't agree with you more. I just wanted to compliment you on your presentation. It's something I'm going to consider absolutely.
Thank you.
And Mr. McKee, just for your edification, we would have to do a traffic study that goes from Public Works. They would do to see what was warranted, the speed
Yes, sir.
limits and all that.
So I did speak with traffic, and they told me that they were going to start that back Tuesday or Wednesday of last week, and it wasn't started. So I'm hoping that maybe it'll get started, and maybe we can talk about it in the next meeting.
Okay. Appreciate you.
Thank
Good
you.
presentation.
Thank you.
Ms. Kathy Strong. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Kathy Strong, Kathy Strong, 909 Atherley Street, 70615. I'm not really, well, it's two things. Okay. My daughter, family, her family, Tracy and George Duhorn, they live on East Fisher Rider Road. And I believe they've been there for about 7 years now, if not a little bit longer. And I did bring this to City Council Mary Morris when she was City Councilwoman. And I thought maybe that they were going to do that street. It's horrible. That's the best description I can say of. Maybe I would take a lesson from the gentleman and do some graphic and so forth like that.
Just to give us a picture, you talking about on the east across 171?
Correct. Yes. No shoulders. I mean, it's just horrible. During the hurricane, when trucks was coming in to, pick up the trees, and they really couldn't pass on that street. It was trying to maneuver a whole lot to try to get there. So I'm just asking, hopefully sometime soon, within my lifetime, I could see a nice sidewalk, a nice street redone so kids can, there are not a lot of kids, but there are some in that area, and that they could ride bikes comfortably and so forth, because right now you can just really, the street is so roughly done, even if you ride your bike and say, okay, nobody's on that road. And from my understanding, one of the I think his name is Mr. Leday, he used to come to city council meeting quite often and talking about their streets, and I guess he just got tired. So I'm trying to help the Duhon family with that situation as well as other families on there, because I've talked to some of these. It's like they just gave up. So I just wish that it's a bad street, very bad.
Well, I'm glad you came, Ms. Strong.
Okay.
And Mr. Mayor, you know what street she's talking
I
about?
know exactly what she's talking about, and it is a narrow street. And I'll check, because it may be in the CIP, the Capital Improvement Project, so we'll see where it is and see if we can move it into a priority where it gets addressed.
And I assure you, Mr. Harvey will have an update for you once he gather that information from the mayor, and we can go forward from there.
And one last thing.
Yes, ma'am.
As I say, I live on Atherley Street. At the time the subdivision was created, I did ask Wilford Carter about sidewalks. Something about they couldn't do it or so forth. So even now that the subdivision is built and so forth, there is no way that they can see about putting, even if sidewalks are just on one side of the street.
Well, if I'm correct, Mr. Stutes, you can correct me on it. I think normally the subdivision owner would have to submit to the city in order for us to do that, because I don't know if it's been changed, but if it's still property of Wilford Carter, then it would be his responsibility to do it unless he petitioned the city to take it over. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So I would have to contact him.
Yeah, or we could find out whether or not we own that.
So if there's
If there's a right
first of all, if there's right of way, and then the second, most times these developments are developed and then the homeowners association takes over. I've seen a document done like that, but I have not studied it to see what the requirements are.
And I've seen we've done it throughout the city where we've taken over subdivisions and it became our responsibility. But I don't know if this particular subdivision has
you got to
went
figure
through
out if it's been dedicated.
Okay, so how will the residents know?
Well, we're gonna check through it.
Yeah.
Mr. Stutes can get
You could contact legal and just my
With the
office will
ci-
check. and
with
let
the
you know.
city?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yeah, the legal department on the 4th floor at City Hall.
gotcha.
Thank you, Ms. Strong.
Thank you.
Great.
Mr. Moore.
Mr. Doug.
President.
Yes, sir.
I will do a little research.
Okay.
That subdivision was developed probably 2003.
Okay.
A long time ago. On occasion, the planning commission during its review and the city council during their acceptance will give a sidewalk waiver, which may have happened in this situation.
Okay.
So I'll research the files and see if I can get a good answer for this group.
You got that, Ms. Strong? Yes, ma'am. All right. San Pope and Renee Cawthorn, they're together, so we can take them together. Please state your name and addresses for the record.
Good evening. My name is Renee Carthan. My address is 2902 7th Street, Lake Charles, 70615. There's been a strong desire to increase community engagement in the local political process, and from that desire, the Lake Charles Community Roundtable Collective has grown. The purpose of this collective is to foster open, respectful, and solution-focused communication between the community and its leaders. Our goal is to build a shared space for mutual accountability where residents and officials can come together outside the formal settings of these meetings to address real concerns, explore collaborative solutions, and strengthen civic trust. The plan consists of 3 phases. Phase 1 was a public meeting with community members that we held in July. We had a roundtable discussion a few weeks ago and it was very productive. We would like to invite elected officials to partner with the collective and participate in the next public community event on September 25th, 2025. We aren't looking for any funding or commitments beyond participation to continue an open dialogue. We would like to ask if we can have 2 closed meetings with elected officials and selected collective members to identify needs from the community, to build the agenda based on needs received from the community and what would be then offered by the officials. Ultimately, we believe that together we can answer the call to create a One Lake Charles.
Ms. Pope? Mr. State your name and address for the record.
Sam Pope, my address is 213 Fairfax Place in New Orleans, Louisiana. Miss Renee, I wanted her to be the representative for the community member out in Lake Charles, Louisiana. She basically gave the gist of it, but I will be available to answer any questions. And if you need a reference for who I am, my name is, I'm with the Promise of Justice Initiative. I'm a community impact organizer, and I also serve as the Special Projects Director for the NAACP Louisiana State Conference.
So I want to be clear. What you're asking is for a meeting of public officials, elected public officials.
Correct.
You're not asking for any money from us to put it on.
No, sir.
It's not going to be an open forum. It's going to be selected, a small group that's selected to come and converse with the elected officials?
For the 2 closed meetings, yes, sir. And then those things will be then discussed with everyone at a public meeting later.
And when you say elected officials, you're not just talking about the council, but you're talking about school board, police jury?
Correct. It's an open invitation to anybody that's elected to any position in the city or parish.
And including the mayor?
Including the mayor.
Definitely including the mayor.
Well, the mayor, I'm sure his, what's the date?
September 25th would be the following public meeting, but the 2 closed meetings can be calendared at any time with everyone's scheduling convenience.
So, to be clear, the 2 closed meetings are the ones that's contained?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then after we get what we get out of those 2 meetings, we go into the big meeting that's community-wide?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And just to add, some of the, at our last meeting in July, there were some concerns or issues that were brought up, and we would like to, in those 2 closed meetings, we'll talk about those things. Again, the objective is mutual accountability, so it's not just what the community expects of the elected officials, but it also what is your expectation of the community as well, so that we can be able to bridge the gap. And again, together we answer the call is our theme and our slogan that we want to continue to push forward throughout the city of Lake Charles.
And just to be clear, I know you are African-American women, but we are not talking about just one specific section of the city. We're talking about the whole city.
We are talking about all of Lake Charles. Yes, sir.
Make it a 1.
Any questions or comments from the council? Mr. Mayor?
No, I'm fine. September 25th, open public meeting, and then if you reach out to our office and see if we can coordinate dates for closed meetings, we'll make arrangements to, if we can get there.
How are we to know about the 2 prior to, the 2 meetings prior to? You're going to give dates on that?
We're going to make contact with your offices to just be able to identify so the schedules can align together.
Okay.
And then we will also let you know who will be coming from the community that will be inside that meeting so that you can be aware. And we may ask a little bit from your participation if you can just talk with some of your other counterparts, colleagues, elected officials to let them know that we will be reaching out to them so they won't be like, who is this Sam Pope? I don't know who she is. And so they can be aware that it's happening. And hopefully we can get some commitment dates as soon as possible, and that way we can get on your calendars as soon as possible.
Well, with that being said, all of our contact information is on the city's website. If you can send us individually, as well as one to Miss Renee, and she'll get it out to us as well. Now, in regards to the police jury and the school board and whoever else you might want, that's going to be a different entity that you're going to have to reach out to get their participation.
Yes.
But I know for me, it sounds good, and I'd like to be a part of it. If we're talking about transparency and accountability, then this is the first step,
Yes.
And I think it would be a good thing.
Thank you so much. We appreciate the elected officials and the community as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dana Blake. Dana Blake has left the building. Huh? Oh, she want me to read it? Okay. Ooh. My dog was stolen from my yard, and I went up and down each street along with my children, and we put flyers on many light poles for several streets around my neighborhood, which is by the elementary school. I don't know what elementary school. Not once, but twice. Both times the signs were one by one, ripped down and taken as if they did not want to be seen with my dog. I would like to comment that our community outreach is not strong or as strong as it could be, and I believe we could make a difference, but also somewhere we could post about our fur babies, as they are our children too. Thank you. Is that good enough? Oh, she left? Well, but I don't know what the fur babies is dogs?
So they're the pets. Pets. Cats, dogs, hamsters, whatever.
And just for edification, Mr. Stutes, she mentioned something in there about putting signs on telephone poles. Isn't there an ordinance or something that states that, I don't know if they can be put up or they can only be put up for a certain amount of time?
That's correct. They'd have to follow the ordinance, yes.
Okay, and that could, I don't know if any of our friends are here, that could be the reason why those flyers were taken down, because property standards goes through, and if it's not there, if it's not appropriate, it's taken down. Ms. Dawn Reed, 2232 21st Street. Sound like Mr. Billboard District.
Before she gets started, I always call them my HOA of Oak Park. We don't have a HOA, but this is the HOA of Oak Park.
State your name and address for the record.
I'm Dawn Reed, 2232 21st Street, Lake Charles.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to the council members and to our mayor. I'm Dawn Reed, as I said before. I live in District C, and I appreciate the opportunity tonight to talk with you about some things that's affecting our community. Basically, it's about the property and the upkeep of the property. Right now, a lot of us are talking about Lake Charles and moving forward and how we can get businesses here. Well, one of the things that I have noticed in our neighborhood, basically it's District C, it's Oak Park though. There are a lot of properties that in our neighborhood that are severely overgrown, and I know we've talked a lot about grass and issues like that tonight, but our streets are overgrown with grass, they're unattended, there are shrubs and trees that haven't been trimmed in years, and the conditions have basically created an eyesore, and it's beginning to impact our properties. Well, it has for a while, because sometimes people will say, well, the neighborhood is going down, I don't want to move there, and that brings down property values. It's a lot of vegetation, and the sidewalks and the neighboring yards create hazards for pedestrians, for children trying to go down the road, and for vehicles. Sometimes, especially in the alleys in Oak Park, a lot of grass and trees and shrubbery. And I personally, I need to get out through the back alley, and I don't want my car to be scratched up and damaged by the trees and the shrubberies. I've come before the council before with this same issue, but I don't see any improvement. So, you know, when you look at the upkeep and appearance of your neighborhood and your city, sometimes it becomes a hazard. There are rodents around, roaches, snakes. These kinds of things will lower your property values, and they create safety issues. And it's really unfair for the homeowners who take care of their property to be exposed to some of the things and some of the negligence on the part of other homeowners. You know, people need to understand that they need to take care of their property. My husband has to go around the fence and cut the neighbor's grass so the rodents won't come into our yard. So I'm asking the council and property standards to please investigate these properties and try to take appropriate action. I've spoken to Mr. Bilbo and as many people as I can to try to help me with this and others with this project. But anyway, thank you for listening to me and try to understand where I'm coming from. I've included addresses, photos, and forwarded them to the councilmen for people to review and try to understand what is going on. But if we want to improve our city, if we want it to move forward, when people come here from another city and they're in business, they need to have a place to stay. And if they come in and they go down the alley in our neighborhood, they're not going to want to stay here. And that's a big thing. To improve the city, improve the neighborhoods. People will say, well, that's all about the storms. Well, I have been tracking this and taking pictures since 2018, which is before the storm. This was before the storm that this started, and nobody can do anything to help us. I'm asking you, help us to get our community clean. Thank you for listening to me, and if you have any ideas, we're willing to work with you.
Well, Ms. Reed, I appreciate everything you do for me. I had her send me some pictures that Ms. Renee gonna show you, and I was notified on July 22nd, 25, that the house on 2300 21st Street was on a LA Restore program, and the contractor was Gus Quinn. And he had told us that he had guaranteed us, that was almost a month ago, that he was gonna start cleaning up this area. And if Miss Renee can show you the pictures, it doesn't look like he's doing any cleaning. And I don't think these people should get any leeway, whether it's LA Restore or Mr. Quinn or anybody, when it comes to my neighborhood, when my constituents got to live on side of this. You know, we done gave them a month. Now we need to get fined, whatever we got to do to force them to clean up their area. And it follows. It went from 2300, so if 2300 say, well, I ain't taking care of mine, then it's 2316, then it's 2318. They say, well, they don't care. I'm not going to do it. So now it's the whole almost 21st Street is following behind 2300 because it looks terrible. I mean, the pictures probably don't even give it unjust. The grass is growing up the house, you know.
And I can tell you, Mr. Mayor, I was handling that before Mr. Bibble got on the council, and some of these are repeat offenders.
Yes.
For the violations. So it's been going on a long time.
I think we just give them too much leeway.
Yeah, we
I understand grass if somebody's sick or if they out of work or they working a turnaround, but this is a program that's funded by the state coming in and allowing the neighborhood just to look. We already gave an excuse to put a big container in the front yard. I mean, on the street where the porta pot is. So I had to tell them that we couldn't do anything about it because it was they got ordinance to do it. But to live on side of this with the grass growing this high, that's very unacceptable.
And we'll give it property standards and get that looked into. You have that,
we
you
done-
have the addresses.
We call property standards, we give them the addresses, they give them more time, and like I said, it's not the storm, this has been going on. I have records from 2018, pictures and cameras that say July of 2018, it was going on before then, and every year it just gets worse and worse and worse, and nobody cares, or they don't do anything about it.
No, I'll meet with property standards. We'll see what.
Well, I don't think it's a property standards issue because Ms. Paula has done to her extreme it's time to fine. It's not time to talk anymore because she sends people out there, Mr. Jesse, they find the contractor, they talk to him, and of course you're going to be lenient because they give you a promise. Well, we're going to jump on it Friday, we're going to jump on next week, then she gets flooded with other calls and it gets behind. Now it's the time to just find Mr. Quinn or LA Restore and say, we must do something today. Not tomorrow, not the next time we call you, today, or we're going to start finding you. Or we're going to get scheduled to get cut and we're going to send you a bill because they're not handling it.
Okay.
And this started way before the contractors started. The homeowners don't care, so they just do whatever they want. If my 72-year-old husband can go next door and cut their grass so the rodents won't come in our yard, fine with them. They don't even say thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Reed. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mr. Raymond Mason. State your name and address for the record, please.
Raymond Mason, 1623 Coach Street here in Lake Charles. Thank you, City Councilman and Mr. Mayor. My problem is Cozy Coulee. That's my backyard. And I've been back there, living there since 1974. We had a flood in 1980. So when the flood came in, the city came through and said they were going to dredge, which they did in 1983. Since then, it has not been dredged. And we have had, 2-3 floods since then again? And the reason for that is because the coulee is caving in. No dredging. The depth of the coulee is much shallower than it used to be. So it's not going to hold the volume of water that it had held before. If we could get it dredged, get the sides done, just like we have on Oak Park, concrete and slides, that'd be fine. But I know that's impossible for there. And I know that Coachy Coulee is really not part of the city. But all of the construction work that's going on right now on the streets, all the busted up concrete, we could use that material to base the sidings of Cauchi Coulee once it's dredged to hold the dirt and mud from caving back in. Another thing, we have an 8-foot alligator back there. He doesn't come in my yard because on the back side of my house, which in 1988, I got permission to put concrete back behind my house. Busted up streets that were being repaired. So I got my place where nothing goes back in. But all along Cauchi Coulee, from the south side of Legion Street Bridge, behind Kia, that's just coming in. If you go down Legion Street and look across from the bridge, you'll see how much land has washed into the coulee. It used to be probably wide as this room. Now it's half of this room. So what's happening when it rains, we're getting everything held back because we cannot get a full drainage.
Gotcha.
I know there are new pumps out there because back in the time when they had the first flood, it was the old pumps. Now we have new pumps, automatic, sometimes they can cut on, but you still have a person that monitors those pumps. But when the rain starts, the pumps should cut on at a certain depth because there's supposed to be a marker. And when it's marked and the water gets up to that thing, it's supposed to automatically kick on. But I don't know if they're doing it or not, but if it is, it's still not enough because the coulee is caving in. And all I'm asking for is to see if we can get something done about getting it dredged, dug out, or whatever, so we can have better drainage. That would not only save me in my area, it'd save all of Lake Charles. Because that's the main drainage out of Lake Charles. On that end.
This is on the east side.
On the east side, yes, sir.
Who responsible for the dredging of that?
Corps.
That's going to be the Corps of Engineers because that's a state water body. And then the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, if you tell me where you are, they're charged with removing that alligator because that is a public nuisance.
1623 Cauchi Street. I'm on the corner of 8th Street and Cauchi. 8th Street is the dead end, and Cauchi Coulee turns and goes back north.
And there's an alligator man. He comes out. I got his number somewhere in my phone, but he comes out and get those, like when they're in the Old Park Lateral and all that, he'll come out and get it.
Yeah, Wildlife and Fisheries contracts with a number of trappers who will come out and get the alligator.
Yeah, Mr. Marshall.
8 foot is very, very
He called me one day. I say, "Come on, Mr. Mason, 8 foot." And when it was raining, and I went back there, I said, "I don't know if it's 8 foot, but it's big."
Thank you, Mr. Mason. We'll get on it and get back with you. All right. Miss Elowina Woods, please state your name and address for the record.
Thank you so much, Mr. President, and the city councilman and the mayor. Thank you all for giving me this opportunity to present my case to the city. My name is Elowina G. Woods, and I live at 1909 4th Street. I'm here concerning some criminal damage to my property, which is my holiday yacht. My yacht was stationed at the Border Lake Park at the Civic Center slip area on May the 19th, 2024. My yacht was criminally damaged, about $8,000 worth of damage. I pay $200 a year to have my yacht parked there, and there are other people that store their yachts and their boats there occasionally, and we pay $200 a year to come. We can stay maybe 3 or 4 days, but we have to leave, and then we can come back. My yacht is stationed somewhere else during that time, but I do want to come to the Civic Center occasionally and have the convenience of docking it without any problems. But I was told that they don't have any cameras there, and I was told that they asked the previous administration about putting cameras at the dock, but it fell on deaf ears. On August the 20th, 2025, my yacht had been there for a couple of days, and on that Wednesday evening, I went to the yacht and noticed that I had some more criminal damage. They took my windows out. The first time they busted the windows, went in there, ramshacked, took everything out, put my wires out, damaged my generator. And I feel that it's very personal because there are a lot of yachts that sit out there and they're not touched. And I feel that it's personal. It could be prejudice. It could be, I don't know, hate crimes. I don't know what it is. But some of the yacht owners are very concerned, and I speak on behalf of the boat yacht clubs and all the other owners, because they're concerned about their yachts that are stationed there. And I asked him about the camera. He said the camera is only at the Millennium Park, and it stopped. And I called Mr. Fondale, and I was so upset, and I told him about it. And he said that I should come and address the city councilman. So I'm here tonight to ask you all if you can please look at it and consider putting some cameras at the Borderland Park where the yachts and the boats are parked, because those people pay almost $400,000-$500,000 for their yachts and their boats. And they were concerned for me when they saw my boat, and I told them that I was going to call the city councilman and address it. And they asked that you all would consider putting cameras there, because they are afraid of their yachts and their boats, for being damaged.
Well, Ms. Woods, currently, go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah, currently, Ms. Woods, we recently commissioned, right now we're in the process of identifying a camera system for the entirety of the promenade, all the way from the beach to where the Millennium Park in that area is, to put that under constant video surveillance and secure that entire area. So that is in the process. Waiting. The police department has made some recommendations, because obviously we want cameras that not only would they capture criminal activity, but they would be admissible in a court of law when we start prosecuting people that do criminal activity on the areas that I call our city's front porch.
Thank you. I did call the city police, and I did file a report on it, and did file a report in May of 2024. I filed a report with the sheriff department, and they came out. That's when the $8,000 damage was done to my yacht. And then on this August, I called the city police, and they asked if I wanted them to patrol the area extra, and they said yes, but they didn't patrol it because I had somebody to sit there all night until I was able to move my boat back to Moss Bluff.
Well, we'll look at where the patrols are, but with the camera system that we're going to install, and plus the notification to the public that they're under video surveillance, hopefully that'll deter people, and if they're stupid enough to do that, we'll catch them and prosecute.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, Mr. Mayor, because we want to let people know that it's safe to bring their yachts and their boats to the Civic Center and be comfortable, like, 4th of July and all other holidays that they come, and sometimes they want to leave their yacht there. They park it there, and then they have their vehicle, and they just may leave their yachts there and go home. But they want to make sure that it's safe. But if there's no cameras there, then people know it's no cameras. So that's why they out there doing what they're doing, because they know we don't have any cameras. But thank you so much, Mr. Mayor and the city councilman. Thank you all so much for hearing my concern. And like the Lord say, vengeance is mine. So I'm just going to give it to God, because I don't bother anybody. And I just think it's just awful that someone would just go there and do that. But thank you all very much. God bless all of you.
Mr. Mayor, how long do you think it's going to take before we get cameras?
Right now, I'm not sure of the timeline. We've the police department has been tasked with identifying the camera system, and then we have to look at the installation, because we've got it's going to cover everywhere from the beach, like I said, to Millennium Park. Some of them are going to be staged on some of the pillars that light up at night, And so we're looking at not only the cameras, but also the systems that we would have to use, because they're not already fitted up for those, so we're going to have to alternate that. So once we identify the cameras in the system, we're going to have the appropriate people go out there and tell us what it's going to take to install that system and then start monitoring the area.
Okay, that's a gated area. Well, she left. That's a gated area, right?
No, it's
and
not.
they're jumping the gate, you said?
Yes, sir. It's a gated area, and you have to have a code to get in. So they're jumping over the fence, and
If it's only one area where they're going over the fence,
well, it's more than one. It's more than one gate. Depends on where your yacht is situated. Like I have a 40-foot yacht. So it depends on where your yacht is stationed. So it's 2 gates, but they both should be covered. The camera should be on both sides. The camera right now just comes so far from the Millennium Park. The Millennium Park is covered, he said. Mr. Norman McKnight, who is the dock person that handles the boat slip, he said the camera only goes to the Millennium Park, then it stops. They can't see. They can see some, a little figure, but they can't see it all.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering if we can look at putting another barricade up where they can't just easily jump over the fence.
Yeah,
Get there.
we can. The problem with the barricade is that the gate is just there's no other place to put it. It's right on the pier itself, so there's water on both sides. So someone actually has to go around, jump it out, go around, and take the chance of falling in the water. So I don't know how else we could. We'll talk. I'll figure out how. We'll figure it out. But I think the camera system and notifying people, like I said, at that point, they'll be on candid camera and they'll have to they'll have to answer for that.
I think, Mr. Mayor, you're right. If they know it was a camera there, they wouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, I think that's going to be
Because
the.
they know there's no camera there, so that's why they're doing it.
Okay.
So the camera would solve it.
And we can increase patrols.
Yes, we've already increased patrols over that area.
All right, Mr. Kenneth Lewis. Mr. Kenneth Lewis. Oh, there you go. State your name and address for the record.
It's a marathon.
My name is, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
My name is Kenneth Lewis. I live at 1923 to number 4th Street. That's my neighbor that just left from up here. And my issue is I work for all 4 of the Sheriff Department administration, including Beth Lundy. And I commend you guys as well. But anyway, get to the point. My street is being flooded out. Water is there. It's not going into the storm drain like it should be. And it's just sitting there. I can go out there and fish, for so much water being in my driveway. I think since they're working on the streets, that my streets should be leveled out where the water will not just sit there. Because if you're from Lake Charles, we've been having a lot of rain. And I wish something can get done about the drainage, that it goes, to the drain where it's supposed to be, because it seems like it's uneven. It's just sitting there. And I pray to God, hoping that something can get done.
What's the address again?
1923 4th Street. That's your district, Mr. Fondell.
He didn't call me first, though.
4th Street, not Ford.
Ford, the number
okay.
with the TH at the end.
Yes, sir, okay.
And you should be familiar with that,
send
because
that alligator
you came to my door and you knocked on my door.
Uh-oh, watch out. And don't give away trade secrets.
All right, Mr. Lewis, we're going to have somebody go out there and take a look at it, because it could be something as simple as the grass. When they cut grass, that has a tendency to back those drains up. So I'm not telling you that's what it is, but we're going to go out and look at it and see if we can determine what the problem is.
But I just think, okay.
All right, appreciate you.
Thank you.
Mr. Tony Royster, state your name and address for the record, please.
Tony Royster, 1419 13th Street. I love Lake Charles. Some of you know me.
I lived on the West Coast a number of years. I played basketball in a celebrity game with Denzel and gave some writers the name of a city and Devil in a Blue Dress. It was called Lake Charles. I won a comic view competition, and the mayor at that time was Whitley Mount, and she gave me a key to the city. It was Tony Royster Day. I appreciate that. But now, the thing is a little bit different for some reason. I want to help you out about crime here. I approached, when we had the 100 blacks, and a couple of sheriffs before, I approached a few judges, and being a former military guy and someone who's been in the martial arts for a number of years, I wanted to do something about these teenagers, these young punks around here that with their pants halfway down, and just disrespecting people. There's got to be something we can do about it. I know I'm not supposed to address the mayor, but the city council, there's got to be something we can do that we can have like a military-style boot camp. Sergeant Major Stewart, he was a battalion sergeant major. We had conversations about that. There's got to be something we can do so that the police department, who have good people, naturally you have some officers that are bad. If you got 250 of them and 50 of them are bad, and the 200 doesn't do anything about the 50, then you got 250 bad police officers. But I think that most of them here are good police officers. You know what I mean? They're good. Some of them are respectful. Some of them are disrespectful. I've experienced some things good with some officers and some bad with a few of them. But I don't hold the police department at fault for having to address these youngsters who don't have any type of ability to show some respect, some care for the city, for themselves. So, and a lot of times the parents are being raised by the kids, you know what I mean? So my point is, hopefully the council can kind of get with me and some other folks in the community, put something together with the parish or whatever, and talk to the judges. I'm gonna need some more time there, big buddy. But I hope that we can get together and do something. I know you very well, and I know your passion. And I played ball with your family member. We know each other, and it should be one Lake Charles. I'm not hearing a lot of stuff, and social media is terrible. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know, we got people on social media talking about this and that, you know.
Mr. Rushton,
yes.
You out of time. Do y'all want to, you need more time?
I sure do. I ain't gonna be much longer, but just a little bit more time.
Maybe 2 minutes?
Yes, maybe 2 minutes.
Please vote.
Clock me. Say yes.
Verbally.
Say yes. Put it yes. He
Verbally.
said yes.
Verbally.
Yeah.
Tom?
I clicked the yes button, but cool.
Verbally.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Without continuing on, you know, I've been a comic for a long time, but I'm a citizen of Lake Charles. I love this city, and I want it to do better. I want it to be better. And only way we can do that is people coming together, you know what I mean? So try to help the city by, you know, getting some type of program together if we can, sir, Mayor. And, you know, there's got to be some kind of, we can have a drill. It doesn't have to be boot camp type. It just drill them. All about discipline. And we got people who are veterans that are willing to do it. So I ask you to consider that. And also, lastly, I don't know if I'm banned from the Civic Center, who runs the Civic Center. I wanted to do a roast of the candidates and the politicians. And I was turned down. It was like, I knew I was banned because they told me that, well, Mr. Royster, that date isn't available. So I gave him another date. That was not available either. And I gave him another date, and that one was available. So I knew then, and said, well, maybe he's going to say something about me. It's a comedy roast. Come on, you know, just take it. It's just, comedy is medicine, and laughter is medicine. So, you know, some people just have these little thin faces. Take what I can give to you, because it's all about fun. But thank you for, Mr. President, and congratulations to two fellas here. I played ball with your I think one of your brothers or whatever. Football, one game, one play, and I joined the band that Monday morning. So, but anyway, thank you for your time, and I appreciate it. But God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Rushton. All right. Any other things from the mayor?
No, I have
Council?
nothing.
This meeting is adjourned.
Well, what if I wanted to roast you, Craig?
I guess